Wah! He didn't say anything about us. Wah! Tom Brady thanked Tampa Bay and the Glazer family and this one and that one. He forgot about us. What a bunch of massholes you guys really, truly are. You got 6 freaking Super Bowl trophies. He said goodbye 2 years ago. Wah! He didn't thank us. Wah! He didn't acknowledge us. Every one of us alive, Jet fan, not Giant fan, but Jet fan, would trade places with you in a heartbeat to have 6 effing Super Bowls, and you don't need to thank us. Oh, my God. And then he does say, love you, New England fans. And then that's not enough. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today?
It took 22 years, but I got to say it.
Woo!
I really like this Tom Brady guy.
Damn right you do.
I kind of like him.
Yeah, so many aspects of it I love. Number one, you got Jim Gray last night literally on his knees, taking care of Tom Brady's junk for him, and he doesn't get the scoop that Brady's retiring.
Yeah.
And then he retires, and Patriot fans are pissed. What?
It's great.
Yeah, isn't it?
It is so. I got to admit, it is so great. Not just because he's gone, ding dong, the witch is dead, but to see Patriot fans cry like babies over the dopiest thing ever. It makes my heart full.
I'm like, this is the happiest I've been in a Jet fan since we beat you in the AFC Championship game, with Mark Sanchez.
Divisional round, not championship.
Yes, pardon me.
Sorry.
I've gotten so much joy today just sitting there as a voyeur, watching the meltdown of New England Patriot fans. Wah! He forgot about us. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's great.
You won 6 Super Bowls. And all you're upset about is he forgot to say something about us?
If I witness any of my teams win a championship, so you can name the athlete, it doesn't matter. Want to say Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant. You want to say Jacob deGrom? Max Scherzer? Find them. They can spit on me on the way out, honestly.
Yeah.
They can spit on me. Win me a championship and I'm happy. And you got this Bostonians so offended and upset that Tom didn't do it the right way. You hit on it. 2 years ago when he left in March of 2020, he put out his public thank you.
He did the same exact thing.
Wasn't that enough? Like, you need it again? You need him to tongue kiss you again on the internet?
Yeah.
Grow up, you babies.
The only guy that has the right to cry and wants a nice tongue lashing is Jim Gray, who basically embarrassed himself to no end yesterday, which he has done for the last couple of years with Tom Brady. If you ever listen to the Westwood One Monday Night Halftime Show, in which he's been the host of that show with Tom Brady and has made a whole bunch of money doing like college appearances with Brady, etc. They did a show yesterday.
I listened to it.
Like yesterday, last night at 7 o'clock, they did what amounted to a radio show, a podcast yesterday. And Jim Gray's he's physically sitting next to him. And Brady's like, well, day by day.
Dude, I
day
can't.
By day.
I'm stunned because this is the first time I ever listened to his podcast live. Like, I didn't realize it was a show, like you said, a radio show. So I put it on last night, 7 o'clock. I found it on Sirius, and I said, cool, let me hear what happens.
Because it's going to be news, right?
Yeah, well, no matter what happens, there's some form of news. And so here's essentially what happened. Jim Gray is begging Tom Brady to give him something. Hey, Tom, did Adam Schefter overstep his bounds by even making that report? Tom, please say something. And all Tom essentially said was, I haven't made up my mind yet. I'll let you know. I walked away from it as a fan thinking he's definitely going to retire.
Okay.
But what I didn't think is if he's not giving Jim Gray and his own radio show podcast an answer on Monday night, the last thing I thought is that the next morning he was going to come out and announce it.
Yeah.
So if I'm Jim Gray, I would be pissed off.
Well,
like, how much more ass kissing do I need to do for you not to give me the scoop?
Right. Jim Gray's career is over, if not for Tom Brady, unless he tries to latch on now to Joe Burrow or who they had on the show last night, or I don't know, somebody like that. But I will say this, because of all the losing we've done for the last 2 decades, specifically at the hands of Tom Brady, and watching all those parades in Boston celebrating the New England Patriots, well-deserved, the whole bit. Today was like, in a weird way, some kind of karmic payback that you guys were upset that he didn't thank you or acknowledge you in his retirement, which he did do 2 years ago when he left New England, ultimately to go to Tampa. And again, I'm just watching it on Twitter unfold.
Right.
Now, I sat back, I had a Primo Hoagie, and I watched it unfold. And it was like great theater. Every time Twitter refreshed itself, 40 new tweets, whatever it was, of people going, I can't believe he forgot about us.
And in a weird way,
I'm going to burn my jersey. Whoa. Tampa means nothing to you. What about us? Because you got 6 Super Bowl trophies. Isn't that enough?
I love the fact that Tom Brady, and this is why I'm starting to like this guy. I got to admit it. It took me a long time, but I'm starting to warm up to Tom Brady. I love the fact that he waits 3 hours, then gives the Patriot fan like a little nibble.
I love you too.
But not what they wanted.
Right.
Like a quick, yeah, I love you. He writes paragraphs about the Buccaneers staffers, paragraphs about Bruce Arians, paragraphs about the Glazers, and how great the fans are. I love St. Petersburg. What a beautiful area. You guys are great. And then he gives those poor bastards up in Massachusetts, and they're begging for more. They want so much. He gives them a, yeah, I love you guys too. And then he's gone.
Literally, I think that's the right word, begging for more. And then he gives you a little something, and the reaction was, that's it?
It's not enough.
That's all we're going to get? That doesn't count. That doesn't count. Then someone like Matt NYJ type account put out that he was going to actually go up to New England, sign a one-day contract, and retire as a Patriot, which happens more in other sports than it does, in the NFL. Like a guy who has a long career with one team and wants to at least end officially, even though it's bogus, with
it's
that
bogus,
team. Yeah. So then Patriot fans are going, that's the guy, he's coming back. Yeah, he made it clear, I feel like a month or two ago, where he said in some interview, I'm never moving back there.
Right.
I love it here. The weather's great. Like, I'm not going back to the cold. So if you're a diehard Jet fan, listen, today was about us. Today we got to win. Today was a win for us. Even the New York Jets put out a very funny tweet today. And their tweet was, are you serious?
Right.
Are you faking?
Yeah.
NBC New York put out a great tweet today.
Oh, that was tremendous, yes.
Their tweet was, legendary quarterback Tom Brady stepping down after 22 years and 2 Super Bowl losses to the Giants.
Right.
So give them credit for a little trolling. And I just loved it.
The Giants haven't done anything, which I'm surprised about. Like, they could very well do their own version of trolling on their Twitter account. I don't think
they will, because they're right in the middle. They just hired the head coach and they got a new GM.
What does that mean?
They have no connection.
The connection is that they beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl
but
twice.
They have no connect. They personally don't have a connection to it. So, I don't know. I got great joy today. Watching New England Patriots fans cry and whine.
I get that aspect of it, and I certainly have that aspect of it. I agree with you, but you also really wanted Tom to play another year. Are you not heartbroken that we're never going to get to see him play football again?
Heartbroken, no. Disappointed, yeah. Because don't forget, he did lead the league in like every statistical category this year.
He was still playing great.
Yeah.
No question.
So there's no doubt he still has it. He can still play. I'm upset. Like I was upset when any one of the greats of a generation decide to step down because I'm not going to see him again. So whether it was Michael Jordan, whether it's him, whether he didn't step down, but maybe thinking of the life without Tiger Woods in golf, guys at that level who are clearly, if not the greatest, because it's a silly debate for radio, among the greatest to have ever played. Yeah, like as a fan who loves sports, how could you not be disappointed that you don't get another year?
There is a part of me, and I don't know if Big Mac feels this way, because me and him were lockstep in hating Tom Brady, even with his jump to Tampa Bay. Even though he wasn't a Patriot anymore, I still would sit there, Rams, Buccaneers, actively, passionately rooting against Tom Brady. And I look around the NFL right now, and the hatred isn't really there.
I got you. And the sports does need that. You need
the enemy, the bad guy.
You need a bad guy.
You need a real heel and a real villain. And to me, Tom Brady was a heel or villain, and the only villains left are more teams than they are players. Like the logo of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and obviously my division rivals, your division rivals, will still make me sick. For Giant fans, you're always going to hate the Cowboys and the Eagles. But as far as that star player that you look at and say, I just want to watch him walk off a loser, I don't really have that. I don't have that towards Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, I think it's generational. So maybe you don't get another guy like that in the NFL. Maybe you do over time. Obviously, also depends on what the Jets do. Do they have a nemesis that beats them?
That's
a lot?
the key. I mean, if the Jets
could become Josh Allen in theory, maybe.
Well, in theory, it easily can become Josh Allen because you share a division. But even any of these young quarterbacks in the AFC, once the Jets are good, assuming they ever become good, and you start running into a roadblock, you're going to naturally start hating them. It took me 1 year to hate Giannis Antetokounmpo. I never really hated him. Yeah. All of a sudden, one hard-fought series, and I look at his face and I want to throw up. So, but right now, in this moment, there isn't that big heel in the NFL.
Listen, there's a lot of leagues that are dealing with those types of eras coming to an end, right? LeBron's going to retire at some point. Mike Krzyzewski's leaving Duke. There are, in each particular sport, there are those hated teams or hated players, and it's usually because they're so good. You don't hate someone that doesn't have success in general or success against you. So to me, am I sad? I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't know. Like, it's just a sports fan. It's just disappointing. It's weird. My disappointment that the career is over has been meted today with my great joy and glee.
Torturing.
Watching Patriot fans who've had a run that is unprecedented and most likely will never happen again in the history of the sport get upset that the man didn't acknowledge them in a 5-page goodbye letter. Like, you're a fan of the team, right? He gave you 6 Super Bowls and all the other great accomplishments, that they had every single year. And after 2 decades of dominance, your behinds got sore because he didn't acknowledge you in a letter? Like you were dating him?
And they're so upset by the fact that in his letter to Tampa, he says, hey, I'd love to be invited back to the next boat parade. Never said that to the people of Boston.
Oh, it's
Never
great.
said, let me go back to Boston for a parade.
I think it's great. We'll get into it with you and get your take on it, but we do have the end of really an era of greatness. And again, we're not going to be one of those shows that debates, the greatest of all time. If you think he is great, if you don't, good for you. Don't really care. But he is one of the greats, if not the greatest. And the era's over. And we'll get into the whole thing and what it means and the aspect of it and how it played itself out. But I think it is good also, like we said yesterday, he doesn't now take over Super Bowl week. If you're going to do it, you either do it after the Super Bowl or you do it this week so we can all get it out of our system. It can be digested, talked about 5 million ways from Sunday. And then when you wake up a week from yesterday, on Monday, the entire focus for football is on the Super Bowl. So I do think that today was the right day. I said that yesterday, that this would be the right week to do it.
Right.
If you not do it this week, you do it after the Super Bowl so you don't steal the Super Bowl away from the NFL.
No, but you're right, because if he doesn't do it this week, that shadow is out there going into the Super Bowl. Hey, what's Tom going to do? What's Tom going to say?
Yeah.
What's Tom going to do? There's still that report that he's retiring. So he did end it quickly. When did he decide, though? And why did he deny the report on Sunday? Like, there's aspects of this that still fascinate me.
Yeah.
Even though they all got it right on Saturday when they said he's retiring, why the denial? Why the whole I'm still thinking about it with Jim Gray on Monday? And then why on Tuesday morning, all right, fine, you got me. Why?